Co-ed's first, though, right?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back again to another live coverage brought to you by OCR Report. We're here at the WrestleMania of Fitness, the Deka Fit World Championship weekend, and we are on our last live coverage of the Deka Strong teams that will be competing. We got the co-ed, the men's, and then the female seed that will be ending what has been a remarkable weekend. I'm Luke Alterman. Right next to me is world champion Tara Jackson, who's be joining me again for the relays. So Tara, let's talk real quick. I just want to ask you, how do you feel about your weekend?
I feel great. Like, I obviously missed the podium a little bit today, but overall, like, I got my world championship yesterday, and it was the one that I missed last year. So my body put out a good performance all weekend, so I'm real happy.
Awesome. I'm sure everybody at home and everybody here, of course, is still appreciate what you do, and you're a great athlete, and we know, obviously, you expect more years of accomplishments coming from you, for sure. So,
yeah.
So, amazing weekend from you. Because you were going to be in the teams today with Luke Hayes, but it seems like that was a last-minute decision.
Yeah, so Luke was just getting over being sick. So he ran the Elite Strong earlier, and he just, like, I can't breathe. And strategically, I'm pretty beat up. I was going to need him to take a lot for me. Like, I know what we need in each station to be competitive for the podium. And if he wasn't going to have it today, then, I don't want to, like, pressure him into it.
Sure. Well, it would have been fun to watch you too, of course. So, speaking of co-ed, I'll pull up the list right now. That is going to be our first wave going here in about 10 minutes. And out of all the teams listed, who do you like based off that set? Now, that list in second seed, Seti, I believe, is partnering with Joe Roberto, not Lucas Monterio.
Did they qualify together?
They did qualify. From my understanding, they qualified at a lower seed, but she qualified higher with him and signed up for both. And I would see which one, I guess, would show up. I don't know. But Joe Roberto will be that partner. So
cool.
In the first seed, we have Amber Tate and Kevin Gregory coming in with the fastest time. And I would say with Kevin Gregory, what he has accomplished this weekend, that is going to be by far the toughest team to beat. And then the third seed, we got Michaela Short, Brian Corning. Then the fourth seed, Allison Outlaw, Caleb Yates, Christopher Balvin, Kara Mobley, Angelica Garcia, Ryan Castillo, and Keaton Billings and Marissa Pope, of course, your favorite team, of course. So out of the first 8 that will go in the first wave, what's your pick?
Well, I'm always kind of biased, but Kevin just came off of a world championship. I think he's riding the high right now. And with the shortness of the event and how much time he's going to be able to put on the machines, I think they come into the burpees like 6 or 7 ahead.
Yeah, awesome. Can't go wrong with that pick. So I can be a little biased myself as well, and I am going to say this. Kevin, you've had a good run, buddy, but it ends right now because my boy Caleb Yates, if there is one man who can match you on that bike, it's that guy. And Caleb Yates and Allison Outlaw will take it home today for the co-ed division. But with Kevin and Amber right behind them, seconds behind them, maybe even tenths of seconds in second place. And shout out to Chris Balvin, of course, and Kara Mobley. But I can't go against Keaton and Marissa anymore. I haven't picked them for my podium picks all weekend, and they have proven me wrong every single time. Now, granted, there's no running now, right, for the strong. So I don't know if that's a disadvantage or advantage. You, of course, know them personally. Is that an advantage for them or a disadvantage?
They're very efficient at the stations, and they train together all the time. So they know how to feed off of each other. So I think that's going to be a big advantage for them going into this race. So I think they'll be able to divide the labor. And like I said, it's going to be hard to beat Kevin and Amber. But as far as that second place, I think they're going to sweep right in and be, within 10 seconds.
Awesome. Yeah, that'd be great. So definitely looking for a battle. It's crazy to think it's always easy to say the first few teams are always the podium picks, the higher seeds. But we've seen it all weekend. Those lower seed or even B-wave people coming in have shaken up the podium. They've shaken up the top 10. So you can never count out the lower seed athletes by any means.
Well, and these are probably separated by less than 20 to 30 seconds.
That is true, yes.
And the setups in a gym could make all the difference. and really level the playing field between these teams, and it's just not reflected in the times. So out here, we have the same exact course, and you're racing each other, not the clock.
Right.
So I could see lots of switch ups happening between 1 and 20.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of that, the course then, this layout, you've already experienced it earlier when you ran the Elite Heat as well. Do you like this layout that they have for the Deka Strong?
Yeah, especially from a spectator's view, like to watch people progress through each station is very exciting.
Mhm.
So, and from a competitor's standpoint, last year we didn't have our own lanes. So it was very hectic as an athlete to have to change your strategy in the beginning of the race.
Frustrating, I would imagine.
Yeah, because if you didn't get into position, you could lose so much time having to move to other stations because people were trying to get to the best
Right.
position. So this, it takes out all that. It's a straight line for everybody. They set up the bikes at 0, so everybody has to adjust. And I think it made it a lot more even this year.
Yeah, absolutely, and it definitely made it exciting to watch for sure. Coming from a very comfortable seated position from over here. So for you, those that are at home and saying this is the first time maybe that you're chiming in, Deka Strong, it's 10 functional fitness stations, starting with 30 reverse lunges, followed by 500 meters of rowing, 20 box overs, 25 medicine ball setups, 500 meter skier, 100 meter farmer carry, which you will go down 10 meters and 10 meters back 5 times, 25 calories on the assault bike, 20 over the shoulders. Zone 9, a tank push and pull, an accumulation of 100 meters, followed by, lastly, 20 gram burpees and cross the finish line. So the Deka Strong is always a very exciting race to watch because there is no running. And it does come down to the seconds. It comes down to details, and it comes down to there's a strategy payoff as well. What do you think out of all the teams that we can go through, men's, females, co-ed, what is the deciding factor that will determine who wins today?
I think the tank can be, because you have, especially in the men's heats and the co-ed, the men are pretty close in the bike. It's not like you have a guy who's doing 45 seconds, 50 seconds, and then you have Kevin.
Right.
Like, they're all pretty big guys, and they're all pretty close. So I don't think the bike is going to make as big of a difference, but how they can divide the sled and then attack the burpees at the end
absolutely
is going to be very important.
You know, ever since that we just witnessed Matt Stankiewicz and Dylan's strategy of the row and go, as he has called it, it seems like a lot of people has adapted that style. We saw it almost every single team in the Deka Mile do it, and I feel like a lot of teams are going to be doing this as well, too, for the Strong. Typically, it seems to be easier for the push for the female status, and then the males can do it with the pull, just using their big bodies, obviously, to pull the weight back. Do you think that is a strategy we see most teams do?
If they're not, I think it's a mistake.
I think so, too.
Because the amount of time that you would spend on a full length by yourself is probably going to be between 20 and 25 seconds. So to have that exchange of like 10 to 12 seconds work, rest, I think it's overall going to create a faster time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a very smart thing, and even though Dylan said he didn't really necessarily create it, he can at least trademark for that name. So
yeah,
well, the row and go, everybody. Okay, so we got a couple of seconds as well, too, or a couple minutes, excuse me. We'll go over the male team because that'll be the next wave in. So Kevin Gregory will yet again jump in another elite male team followed after the co-ed. His body was completely wrecked. They got 6th place in the men's heat yesterday with him and Zach Tate. But it is 30 minutes after, or I'm sorry, about 20 minutes after. He does have a longer recovery time. So out of all the seeded teams, who do you like for contention of winning the males?
I mean, he's been consistent through the mile and the strong. I'm going to pick Marcus Wallace. I don't even know his partner.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go with Marcus Wallace on this.
Yeah, Richard Essing. I'm butchering that, I know for sure. So Marcus Wallace is a monster, right?
He is a monster.
Do you think for the strong, for the most part, say, obviously, you have a very strong teammate, say one starts to get or just had a rough weekend and their body is completely wrecked, this is at least one of those events where you could take over the workload if needed, right?
Yes.
It's hard to do that and run at the same time, but you don't necessarily need to run in this one, or you don't need to run at all.
Yeah.
So you can take over that workload. It will hinder the seconds, but at least you can give that teammate a little bit of a breather if need to. And
Yeah.
Marcus Wallace is a great example that he could probably beat a lot of teams just by himself in the Deka Strong, right?
He probably could, yes.
Well, I will definitely have to say this for the men's. Adam Halls and Ryan Geiger, they hold the world record in 8:28, if I'm not mistaken, and that is a blistering fast time, the fastest that's ever been done by any team, individual, you name it. I would love to see that put together. Adam Halls and Ryan are very strong individuals, but I'm going to say Kevin Gregory and Alexander Golick take this. Bubbles, I'll give you this one, but I'm not giving you the co-ed.
Hot take. Hot take.
I think it's a good pick. And then two names that no one's going to know, Colin Goebel and Jared Hodgins. I judged them for this specific Deka Strong when they qualified. They were 1 second off the world record at the time. I think a 9:07 is what they did. These are two former D1 football players, and that was their first ever Deka teams. They really didn't understand anything going on. They've been reaching out to me asking for details and how to do certain things. I've been watching videos. Expect these two to shake up maybe podium.
Is this their only race this weekend?
This is their only race this weekend. They are coming in fresh.
Off your hunch, maybe they take it.
Oh, I like it. It's very possible. Absolutely. Like I said,
a lot of these guys are coming in, like Geiger and Bubbles are both coming off of a co-ed teams race.
True.
They've raced several times this weekend. No shade to Ryan, but his strong was looking a little rough earlier.
Yeah, it was. This is why I call this the WrestleMania of fitness this weekend, because it is. 9 events? 9 events total, right? And you could technically do all 9 if you qualify for all 9. So the amount of stress you're putting on your body is absurd.
And it could even be more, because Kevin has run 2 different co-ed relays, 2 different times.
Right, absolutely.
Theoretically, you could run more than 9, but he didn't run the fit. So
right. He was smartly took that off. So,
with my advice.
Oh, good. I'm glad he listened to a world champion, and now he became one himself, right?
Yes.
Connor Bell and Jamie Goodman also leading it in for the Canadians here. Connor Bell is a very competitive athlete in my age group, and I believe he placed in all of them. So Jamie Goodman, from my understanding, this man can go sub 15 on an assault bike for 25 cows, is what the little birdie told me. So if that is the case, Connor Bell and Jamie Goodman can very well give a run for the money for the podium. And then Brandon Bonine and Jeremy Bettis is not competing, and they came in as the 3rd overall seed.
So are Connor and Jamie, this is their only race of the weekend too?
Connor's been competing this weekend. Okay. Jamie, I'm not sure of, though.
Okay.
Okay, and then we got the co-eds lining up right now. So we'll go over the women's as soon as the women roll up then. So, all right, we got the co-ed. So right there we got Ryan Corning and Michaela Short in lane 3. Right next to them we have Caleb Yates and Allison Outlaw in lane 4. And then in lane 5, Keaton Billings and Marissa Pope. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. It's the red shorts and the red tank, Kara Mobley and Chris Balvin. And then in lane 6, we have Keaton Billings and Marissa Pope, which they moved up. So it seems like maybe a couple teams. Oh, well, lane 4, we obviously would have been yourself. So
I know everybody's happy that we didn't decide to race.
Exactly.
Today, so.
Yeah. You wanted to give it to someone else. That's very generous of you. So in lane 1 there, in the green blue shorts right there is Kevin Gregory, your 2023 male elite Deka Strong world champion, with Amber Tate. And then in lane 2, that is Zeddy, which is what Joe Roberto just said. Just call her Zeddy. And Joe Roberto in lane 2 in the blue shirt. So interesting. I love that they have the batons in a Deka Strong. Do you feel like one's going to hold on to it the whole time, or do you think one is just going to set it down for exchange purposes?
I feel like if I was doing it, maybe I would just stash it somewhere.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like sports bra, like Allison Outlaw has her in her sports bra.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty smart. As long as if you do put it down, you better pick it up. That's all I gotta say, because that's going to determine. Just because you cross the line, you need your timing or your timing chip. So, all right, this is a battle that I've been waiting for this whole weekend. Caleb Yates and Kevin Gregory. Their history goes way back as well too. I mean, look at the size of those two.
And Yates is fresh.
And then Ryan Corning too. That's another guy, the assault bike as well. So
he held the Deka Strong record at one point.
He did, yeah, for a while, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the longest tenured of holding it.
Yeah.
So and again, I don't see if anybody beating 10:33 from Ryland though. Good God.
No. I don't know. Maybe Bubbles gets fired up.
What's that?
I mean, he beat Ryland on the day. So.
He did, but that's true. That's true. And he was still about, I think, 30 seconds off the world record. But this course is a longer course a little bit, so.
If Alondra would have been on a gym course, like easily under 12.
Yeah,
under 12.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was talking to someone about the times from last year. I was the only woman at World Championships to break 13. And now we have 8 to 9 women that are all. The competition is just heating up.
It's crazy the advancement that every year brings. It just seems like the athletes that are already great are getting better, and then we get new names who are just as great.
Yes.
All right, so we're off. All the top Wave 1 elite teams.
Interesting. Woman on the end. They have a woman rowing.
Yeah, that's an interesting strategy. Bold move. Let's see if it pays off for them. All right, here we go. So, usually the men, in most cases for co-ed, take over the machines, right? And we saw this during the Deka Mile.
This guy's got some power. He's...
Someone's got to put his foot down on this guy for the rowing. These guys, so at the Deka Mile, this is probably the same thing. You don't even have to worry about running. They're rowing, what, 125, 120 maybe?
Oh, yeah, definitely sub 130.
I will never forget when Caleb and I teamed up in the first ever DecaFit team race. And I raced off to him, and when I tagged him in, he started rowing a 110. Now, granted, it absolutely destroyed him. However, so that is not sustainable by any means.
Well, I think that's what you saw in the women's race earlier. Somebody told me Carly started at 135.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's ripping.
That is ripping. That is amazing. Oh, and it. Okay. This is interesting. Ryan and Michaela are trading off, but Michaela looks like she could be a strong rower.
She's strong on the machine.
Yeah, it looks that way. This could be smart, or this could, I don't know. Because it costs them just
Ryan
a couple
is
seconds.
Like faster over the box step overs too.
That's true.
So that might be a strategy they're playing.
Yeah, because I think in this case, most women will probably be doing the box overs and the sit-ups to require just a little bit, about a 45 to maybe 60-second rest, and then the men will probably start off on the ski erg machine. Oh, wow.
Oh, the guy that was pulling the
rower
off the floor.
Look at the size of him, too. A name, maybe that's I think that's maybe Angelica Garcia and Ryan Castillo. So currently in first place, but Amber Tate flying on the boxes as always. Ryan Corning right there with the win. Marissa Pope over there. Yep, she is incredibly fast on the box overs. Okay, all right, so it looks like Amber and Kevin may have taken over first. It's so bunched up at the moment, we're not quite sure. Because you got all the other teams on the other side as well.
Oh, you got Adrian and Karen at the end. I think maybe they shifted up some of the heats.
I think so too, yeah. Yeah, it seemed like maybe a couple teams, like you said, so beat up, and they're just like, listen, I just don't think I have it in me.
It's rough racing 3 days. Multiple races, multiple hard efforts.
Absolutely. Going all out. Each stage has got more intense as it went as well.
Yes.
All right, so we have Kevin Gregory on the ski erg, and now Ryan Castillo as well too, which if he can row fast, I'm sure he could ski fast too. He has the same technique as Kevin Gregory. I was talking about this with Dave. They don't bend their knees really. They hinge more. Yeah. And they don't really go into the dead squat. Oh, and Caleb.
Well, they let their weight just fall into it.
They do.
That's on these machines, another reason why obviously the men will take the majority of the load. Having that weight to pull those handles down.
Right. So
and the height.
absolutely, it helps a little bit. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So it looked like Allison a little late to the skier for Caleb. I'm sure he'll make up ground though on the skier, knowing exactly what he's capable of. Joe Roberto and Zeddy still in the mix as well. And Michaela, look at her. Wow.
she's ripping.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be honest, I don't think a team matches them on the machines if they are, in fact, trading off.
And she must be doing the farmer's carry.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be smart to have the female do the farmer carry, given the lighter weight, depending on, of course, how strong the female competitor is.
It's always so exciting. Like, who's going to come on
I know,
first?
this is great. You got Kara Mobley and Chris Balvin still in the mix, wearing all red right there. Kara can fly on the farmer carries. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do faster.
And there goes
Here's
Amber.
All right. All right, so here's first place, followed by Angelica and
I think he skied that whole part himself.
Yeah. I believe it. Okay, and there's Michaela in the mix. There goes Kara off to the far left, just sprinting. All right, it's going to come down to the bike. Here we go.
I love seeing these teams that nobody probably knows, but they just come in and crush it.
They do, absolutely. I'm just going on a hunch that this looks like Angelica Garcia and Ryan Castillo, just being at the higher seeds as well too. They're doing great. Here we go.
Okay.
All right, we know the man can move. Not skipping a beat as per usual.
It is just amazing to watch.
I joked with someone earlier that the amount of time, wow, and done already. Unbelievable. There goes Ryan Corning though.
I actually got on a bike after Ryan Corning in World Championships last year. They had to tighten the handles
just so he didn't break it.
So much force that they get loose.
Wow. Well, he crushed that bike as well.
Wow.
Oh, this is going to be close. It's going to be close. Oh, okay. Trading off on the over shoulders. Marissa Pope and Keaton out there on the side. Oh, here goes Allison. Caleb crushed that bike. They came in late to the party on that one.
They made up a lot of time.
They did.
It's like in these events, like 1 through 4, you don't know anything, and it's like after station 5, 6, 7, you could completely have different leaders.
Yep.
Looks like they're going to row and go.
Row and go. I think that's smart. It's just, just the main thing with the co-ed is you got to make sure the resistance is changed each and every time. That's the only annoyance when it comes to co-ed, but I think it's smart.
Oh, and there go Keaton and Marissa, and then Ryan and Michaela are off.
Oh, there we go. Fighting for second. Look at Michaela just moving that tank in the back.
Yes.
All right, so Keaton's just taking on the whole workload.
They better listen to me. I told them to row and go.
Row and go.
They have to row and go.
Well, you'll have to get on them about that afterwards. All right, it looks like Caleb's doing the whole thing himself as well, too. I heard they were going to try to do the whole row and go technique. Caleb is great on the sleds.
And the baton is down.
Oh, there's a baton. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go.
I was like, if I was Michaela, maybe I'd just kick it.
Yeah, right. I didn't see it. Sorry about that. Wow, Caleb is booking on this sled right now. There we go. Now there's more row and go. Kara and Chris are also doing the row and go technique. And now there's Keaton and Marissa doing it.
Yes.
Maybe Marissa just needed a second, of course. I think Kevin on his final pull. Here we go. Will Kevin Gregory put another crown on his head after this? Wow. I don't think anyone's going to catch him.
Amber is fast.
She is. This is remarkable. Wow, they may be done with a full 20 before second place team even gets over there.
I told you 6 or 7 in at least.
Yeah, wow. Well, this is definitely more than that. I wonder if they'll trade off or if she'll just finish it out.
Well, here comes Corning.
All right, here comes Corning and Michaela.
She's got to get up here.
She can't start? Oh, well, he's not supposed to technically. So, here goes Caleb and Allison.
Oh, wow.
Come on, Caleb. He just gave it everything he had on that. Oh, shoot. Allison, a little mix-up, went on the heavier weight. Here we go. Kevin Gregory and Amber Tate, your 2023 co-ed Deka Strong World Champions. His fourth world champion title this weekend. Wow.
Amazing.
Quite
And
the accomplishment.
They might have set a record. 905.
Yeah, that's very true. Co-ed, I'm not sure. They almost went sub-9. Wow.
Wow, it's amazing.
On this course, too. All right, let's see if Ryan and Michaela, second place. Michaela Short, Ryan Corning. And let's see who's going to squeak out in third. Marissa and Keaton, Kara, Chris, Allison and Caleb. Maybe Joe Roberto. Oh, I have no idea. Oh, here we go. Caleb and Allison.
Oh man, so close.
So they almost went 3 for 3 on podiums, Keaton and Marissa. Did. Wow. Congratulations to all the podiums contenders on that. That was a fun race to watch. There's Chris and Kara getting in rounding out top 5.
Those like 2 through, were within 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Such an exciting race.
It was, yeah. And it looks like the team that was Sweden right here, Brian Castillo and Angelica Garcia, man, they can move on the stations, though. Good Lord.
Yes.
I think they're going to have to start bolting in the equipment at some point now. So we have the finishing teams wrapping it up. Probably, hopefully, setting all personal records. No podiums, but hopefully personal records today. Man, what a battle. But honestly, to no surprise, of course, with Amber Tate and Kevin Gregory. Absolutely destroyed it. I joked
they didn't break their old record. They had ran 8:55.
Okay, all right.
On any other course,
they hold the world record.
They hold the world record.
Okay.
They did not break their own world record.
Wow, okay, but good to know that they do, in fact, hold the record. So they are the best to ever do it then. So I guess they should earn the world championship on top of that, right?
Yes.
I joked with Kevin earlier saying that the amount of times that he has done the assault bike, which is I think have been about 6 or 7 times already, his time put together with all 7 is probably still faster than my one time of doing 25 cows. The man, I don't think, is still under a minute. Who knows?
Yeah. So interesting strategy. That last team did like dueling burpees.
Yeah.
So to face each other and use the same mat instead of switching mats.
Smart. That is smart. Absolutely. Well, leave it to them to have the smart strategies. So there you go. There is our, we'll say unofficial in the meantime, but Amber Tate and Kevin Gregory, your 2023 Deka Strong Co-Ed Team World Champions, followed by Ryan Corning and Michaela Short, and then third place Allison Outlaw and Caleb Yates. And, of course, right behind Marissa Pope and Keaton Billings. What a great weekend they had. And then it looks like in 5th place there, Karen Guitry and
Adrian
King, a team that wasn't even in the top 8 to be in the first wave, and now looks like they absolutely destroyed it.
That's how I said, like, these strong times for the teams are probably separated by seconds.
Absolutely.
Just the venue layout.
It could be, absolutely. You just never know who has maybe a better layout. It could be weather controlled as well, too. When Allison Outlaw and Caleb Yates did their 940, we did it in her gym in Austin in July. It was 115 degrees, no air conditioning. So right now we got wave 2 going on for the co-eds. You never know, like you said, wave 2, they could be seconds behind as well, too.
Yes,
so
you could see a mix-up in the podium right now.
Absolutely. It's very possible. We have our very own Dave Claxton right there.
And Bethany McChesney, who's been having a great weekend.
Yep,
PRs,
who already got the world record in the Deka Fit, right, with Heather White. And then we got Adam Halls and his teammate as well, too. Let's see if I can pull up her name.
So Adam Halls is running men's.
Oh, it looked like Adam. Well, I messed that up. So
They all look the same wearing their headbands.
That's right. I'm around up close and personal. But yeah, you never know with these teams as well too. They very well could shake it up. It's always exciting to watch, like you said, new faces. Or another thing too is we say a lot new faces. Maybe for the longest time they were age group competitors, and then they finally got more training, or maybe more intense training. Maybe hired a coach and got more dived into it. Next thing you know, now they're elite level athletes, right?
Yes.
So they very well could have been in the sport for years, and now has finally come up and then started making a name for themselves and stuff too. So,
or like I told you about Marissa and Keaton, you have two athletes that are really good, but maybe not just on the elite level individual, but they team up and they make this amazing.
Right.
Like,
chemistry matters.
Chemistry
right?
matters.
Absolutely. Definitely in something that's so short and intense where seconds matter. It's one thing during a Deka fit, maybe you got time to grow on a couple of things, or you know what I mean? So, but this is, you have to be so good and so in control and communicative with your partner as well. Bethany is flying.
Bethany's moving.
Wow.
And I know she's ran just as many races as me, so I know she's got to be kind of tired. Actually, she's probably ran more because she did the Deka Fits teams after her Deka Fit, where she did all the running.
Oh, that's right, because Heather White did all the
and that is the most painful. Running the 500 repeats is more painful than running Deka Fit.
Yeah, oh, I bet. I can only imagine. They're moving good. Dave giving us a wink.
Yeah, I think you could see a mix-up.
We could, yeah, absolutely. I, from what Dave told me is they're just kind of doing it for fun. It's the last race for them of the weekend. They just want to be a part of the mix. But you just never know. You could, for some reason, you could feel really good, and next thing you know, you get a minute PR, and you're thinking, where the hell did that come from, right? So you just never know. You always just have to be in it just to accomplish that, right? You'll never,
I feel like there's like this pressure too. Like when you're on a team, even if it's just for fun, your partner is counting on you.
Yes, absolutely.
So you want to show out your best performance for your partner.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, then I hear a very heavy man breathing behind me at the moment, Mr. Caleb Yates. It's true. Dylan said it best, I believe, last night, is that, going out there individually is one thing, but if you're doing it with a partner and stuff, he'll die for you on that, right? So it is true. You got to, even though you may not having a good day, you can't let your partner down in that aspect.
Exactly. And I know his partner, Matt, came specifically for the relay.
Yeah.
So that's even that extra level of like, I got to show out.
Yeah, absolutely.
My partner is counting on me.
Flew only in for what happened to be, a 20-something minute race, right? Or on Friday night, excuse me. We got some jerseys representing Bold Fitness down in Katy, Texas. Down in Houston area.
Some more
well, Darren, how would you say this weekend has been as far as the spectating, the volunteers, how it's been run? Has this been smooth this weekend? Is there anything maybe that Deka could probably work on a little bit more, or do you feel like this has been an overall accomplishing weekend?
I think that it's ran really well this weekend. I think that they made some changes from last year that were really positive. One of them being like the setup of the strong. From an athlete's perspective, from a spectator's perspective, very fun to watch. I think it's been a great weekend.
Yeah,
great performances.
Yes, absolutely. This is definitely very spectator friendly, I think, right? A lot of times, like when doing a High Rocks as well too, not a lot of stations are very spectator friendly, right?
They're so long too that especially with these teams or the mile or the strong, everything's like 30 seconds here.
Right.
It's very exciting to watch.
Yes.
Whereas like High Rocks, 1,000-meter run is like 4 minutes.
Right.
So if you're not in the sport, it's hard to get excited about it. But when you're in a sport like this, it's, I think, for everybody to watch. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, so second heat now getting into the bikes. Come on, Dave. Let's see what you got, buddy.
So I actually tried this technique today because I heard Kevin does it, where you don't like rip it at the beginning.
Right from the go.
Like
yeah.
you kind of got to get the fan started.
Okay.
And then you start, because if you do it really fast, like the watts don't get up.
Interesting. Okay.
Your,
so Dave and I even brought that up, or at least I spoke with someone about this. That is something I noticed, that he doesn't start off fast right from the get-go. And I'm thinking, wonder what he's doing, just maybe catching his breath. But now I totally understand that. That is definitely a mechanical thing. You got to really know the bike, right, and how
Yes.
it works. And if you crank it out all out like that at the beginning, and if it's not generating the wattage, that's what, 1 or
You're
2
wasting
seconds,
energy, right?
Exactly. Yep.
And I saw a lot over the weekend on some of the live feed and stuff. People were hitting the button and it wasn't starting, so they were wasting time.
Oh no! Yeah, the biggest
So
thing
if
about
you already rip it off the start and it didn't actually start,
then you
wasted all that energy even more
for nothing. Yep. Yeah, these assault bikes right here, you have to press the start button, or it will not do the countdown. I'll be interested to see what this team's time will be. I think for podium-wise, we're looking at maybe mid-9. Caleb and Allison, a 9:54. So it's very possible. I mean, look, they have a great
moving.
time going right now.
And I don't know if it's an advantage.
This, this, I believe this is Ryan Parr and Kayla. I can't pronounce the last name, but I think this is Ryan Parr. Another big dude.
Adrian and Karen were in the first heat, so did they not go by?
Oh, that's true. That is true.
Oh, I think that's Sherry Adams. She is a beast. She's won
Sherry
her age
Adams
group in every category this weekend. She's in the 45 to 49 age group.
Oh, wow.
But she is a monster. I'm pretty sure that's
actually,
Sherry Adams.
You're right. Yep. Okay, so apologize about that. That's Sherry Adams, and I believe Wooden was the name. I'm gonna look the list back up real quick.
Look at Dave running.
Wow, Dave is crushing it right now.
Dave.
Yeah, Woodson, excuse me. All right, so Sherry Adams and Woodson Witt right now are very well threatening the third place right now. Anything is possible.
Sherry is really running with that sled.
So this is their last pull. They have 54 seconds to beat Allison and Caleb. Oh, will they do it? I don't know.
It's going to be
close. This is going to be close. This is, oh man.
I'm biting my nails right now.
Second wave can be exciting. Oh man, I don't know how many.
Like pounding right now.
24 seconds. I don't know. Oh, here we go. I wonder if they're aware of it actually. So that's another thing.
It's hard.
Oh, they got 10 seconds to do it. I think they're definitely more than halfway at the moment, though. And it looks like Allison and Caleb are safe. They can sleep well tonight. As they cheer behind me. Man, now, see, that's a disadvantage as well, too, to those B-Wave teams. Because I wonder if there's no way they knew of the times prior, right?
Right. But they also probably don't know of their times during the race.
That's also true, too.
Quick.
Right. Right. If you had a constant clock next to you saying this is the bar to beat and everything as well, too, I think it does click something inside you.
Yeah.
However, when you don't have that in front of you, which they did not, then obviously that's a disadvantage.
So you got Dave and Bethany doing the dueling rams.
Look at that. Yeah, look at Bethany fly.
She is fast.
Oh, top 10 changed. Yeah, so they definitely put themselves way in.
Yeah, she got that sixth. They got the sixth spot from the second heat.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, 10-14, man. Great. You're going to want to speak with someone that's sitting right there whenever they come back around. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry about that, guys. We always get people coming over here asking us questions because we do look like obviously we're working for Deka, right?
This is true.
All right, so that was exciting. That was great, and actually that was really fun to watch the second wave. The fact that we were able to get coverage on that because it was a possibility of shaking up the podium.
Yeah.
So they squeaked in with
and they were like a 14th seed.
Yeah, they were very low coming into this. They were the 16th seed.
Wow.
And they had potential of getting third. Crazy. Oh, we already got the men going off.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. That happened really fast. Okay, so Kevin Gregory right there, and they're all, let's see if Alexander.
Also, Alexander's also going to do the sit-up.
So it looks like Alexander's going to take
There's
over
Adam
the majority.
Halls.
There's Adam Halls in first place. Alex right there in second. Still pretty crammed together. Connor Bell right there in second lane. And then the two names that I mentioned prior, Colin and Jared. Colin is right beside Alexander there on the far left side in the black shirt. They're going to move on the machines.
I feel so betrayed right now.
Who do we see on the camera on the far left? Luke Hayes and his brother Joel. Uh-oh. Tara, he's got some explaining to do.
He's got lots of explaining to do.
Luke, you got some explaining to do, buddy.
I mean, we came in at a 4 seed.
Absolutely.
So...
You talk about what could have really shaken it up. All right, so do we see a world record getting broken today?
What's the current world record?
I think 8:28 by the team that is in lane 1 right now.
I thought Shadeg and his partner have the world record.
Oh, okay. Unless that happened on the last weekend.
No.
There were so many submissions for qualifications, though.
Okay, because I thought the weekend that Shadeg broke the world record in the strong, they also broke the world record in the relay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That could be
it then. Wow, Alex Golick is flying on these skiers. Look at that cadence compared to the others. But Connor Bell also flying as well.
You're right. I don't know if we see a world record today. I mean, you have the advantage of like going head to head, but you also have a long course.
Right.
So I know that I think Ryan is part of an affiliate gym. That when you're an athlete, they set up their courses like an athlete.
Absolutely, yeah. You want to set up the best case scenario.
Exactly. So they probably have their course set really tight.
Right. But does the level of competition bring out a world record?
Well, we haven't seen any world records broken in the short events today.
That's true. All right, Alex and Kevin Gregory taking over first place just by maybe a half of a farmer carry length at the moment. Oh, and don't discredit, of course, Marcus Wallace and his buddy Richard.
Yeah, we still like Team Marcus. Oh,
all right.
Nelson.
All right, so does Kevin still do a 15-second air bike? He literally just got off of it about 10 minutes ago.
I don't know, man. I think that Kevin is riding some highs right now. He's got multiple world championship teams. He's got his own world championship.
Okay, so Adam Hall's team
to this bike.
All right, so
see how he starts out slow and then bam,
it just cranks it. Look at Ryan Geiger and there's that Jamie Goodwin. This is who I heard can go sub 15.
I just don't think he's matching the cadence of Bubbles.
And wow, again, unbelievable. Oh, a little slip up. All right, so let's see who's more efficient on these over the shoulders. Can Alex keep up the cadence that Kevin is setting for him? Kevin's giving him the cushion to become a world champion. Does Alex want it that bad as well, too? We're about to find out.
Alex has got his form down now. He fumbled the first few, but he is just rolling.
Yes, he's got it now for sure. Alex, I believe, trains probably at the same gym or at least from the same area.
Okay.
So I think they train together on a consistent basis. All right, so a little trade-off. Okay, here we go. Now, this will be interesting. Alex, compared to the other men around him, definitely a little bit of a smaller stature, like more of probably a legit runner type.
But it looks like they're not going to row and go.
They're not row and going. Interesting. But see, I wonder if this pays off as well, too. It looks like Kevin's telling his teammates, listen, this is what we're doing, and you better listen to me. Because everyone's doing it.
Because it looks like the team in second right now, he's pushing twice in a row. So
Jamie Goodman
get burned out. Is he able to hold this pace? And is his partner also able to match?
Right.
Because right now he's starting to slow down. He was matching Kevin and Alex.
They're not too far behind, though, but still. Oh, look at Connor moving this pretty.
Yeah, he's
fresh legs right now. But you do that 2 times in a row, that's a different story.
Oh, yes.
It's not sustainable 5 times all out. So still keeping the lead. This is definitely going to be a burpee off.
Yes.
And I wonder if that's an advantage for Alex, though. Is he fast on the burpees? I think they got one more.
Yes.
Quickly followed behind with Connor and Jamie.
And there goes Marcus Wallace. He's running with the sled.
Yeah, Marcus is crushing it as well. It's another team we should be looking out for.
He's got his crazy eyes on right now. Like he is.
He's just full on taking it. All right, here we go. Can he do the impossible? Oh, and Connor Bell and Jamie Goodman. Oh, he can't start without his partner, though. I guess you can.
Where was his partner?
Oh, this is nuts. Oh, look at Adam. Adam Hawes is flying. Wow. But is this sustainable, though? Oh, and they're trading off. Okay, here we go.
Does anybody forget their baton?
What's that?
Does anybody forget their baton?
Yeah, right.
Like, batons are everywhere right now.
Oh, looks like Connor and Jamie might be, the cadence is slightly off. Oh, this is going to be a sprint across the finish line.
Yes.
Oh, Adam is flying. Oh!
And there they go.
Wow. Kevin Gregory, another world champion. Your 2023 men's Deka Strong champion. I literally just said his name about 15 minutes ago. And yet here he is. I bet if he was in the female heat, he would want to be in that as well too, right? I guess anything's possible.
I'm glad he's not allowed in our heat.
Yeah, right. Kevin Gregory, unbelievable weekend.
So what does that make?
That is now his 6th
3 teams,
championship.
4 teams. He has 4 team titles and a solo.
He triple crowned the co-ed division with the Deka Fit. Made me look good. Kevin triple crown co-ed, a Deka Fit, Deka Mile, and now Deka Strong.
Twice. With Amber Tate and with his partner, Alexander.
I just meant for co-ed. The first ever
yes.
triple crown individual, I guess you could say, right? Not with the different partners each time, but still, nonetheless. And then, of course, now male team champion as well. So 4 team championships out of the 5 that he possibly was a part of. 4 or 5, and then 1 individual championship out of, I believe, 2 individual events he did. I think he's only signed up for 7. So 5 for 7 world championships. I think that's pretty.
That's pretty impressive.
That's a great weekend.
Maybe
right?
I'm going to need Kevin as my partner.
Oh, well, considering now Luke's got some explaining to do.
Yeah, I'm going to put my resume out there.
I think you should actually. That would be. I would love to see that team up actually.
Yeah.
And there's Colin and Jared right there in the right side, finishing strong. Again, these 2 are very new to the sport. Prepare to see their names in future races once they kind of figure out more of the flow and how things work. Well, with the men's heat, I'm not sure if we have a second. We probably have a second wave. Okay, we have 2 waves. The one team that qualified in a little bit lower seed that probably would have maybe given Kevin and Alex was David McGeeta and Eric Williams. but they announced yesterday they were not competing today to possible sweep their Triple Crown team as well.
They had an amazing weekend, though.
They did 2 world records, 2 championships. I mean, and then of course Megiddo was second in the Deka Fit. I'd say that's also a very accomplishing weekend as well.
Yes, but I feel like you have to give performance of the weekend to Bubbles.
You have to, absolutely. That man definitely deserves it. I have already deemed Nick Riker as Mr. Deka just because he has podiumed every single Deka that he has done. However, Mr. Deka, maybe Dr. Deka or something like that, we can go ahead, or Captain Deka to Bubbles, because he definitely deserves that praise this weekend for sure for his all of his achievements. All right, so second heat, we saw it in the co-ed. It is very possible to be close to it, right? And I don't believe we have the splits quite yet. I think as soon as we get them, we'll go ahead and put up the unofficial times. I will say I'm not familiar with the names of any of these gentlemen that are lined up.
So in that far, John Stanley, he trains with me.
Okay,
or he trains near me. We see each other because he lives in Myrtle Beach. Big guy down there.
Yeah, there you go.
He did the Go Ruck division earlier this weekend and crushed it.
Okay, great.
So it's interesting to see the later in the waves we get, the more shirts we see on.
Yeah. Is that a trend? Is that something we have? All right, so the official world record time for first place was a 9:02 with Golick and Gregory, and then Ryan Geiger and Adam Halls with a 9:06, and then third place Connor Bell and Jamie Goodman with a 9:09. So 9:09 is what's being played with. Does any of these teams on the back end get close to that?
That's going to be tough.
That is tough. 9:09 is flying. That is unbelievable. That is a time that would win on any other given day.
Because I just look at it as time off Kevin's time.
Yeah.
So, like, if Kevin would have gapped like 30 seconds like the co-ed, I'd be like, maybe.
Right.
But they're within 7 seconds of Kevin.
Right.
I don't see anybody in the second heat.
Yeah. Same. And not to obviously discredit anybody's effort that is currently competing, of course. It's just, obviously, when you have the top of the top competing, that's a hard number to beat.
Yes.
Let's so it's going to happen so quickly, and let's go ahead and go over the women's team, because that's one thing we have not done yet, and they're going to be lining up soon. So we have our number 1 seed of Bethany Fellows and Brandy. Now, Brandy won the Deka Mile World Championship last night with Holly, and then we got Becca King and Jocelyn in the third seed, Kaysen and Valera, and then Mag and Marine and Miranda O'Neill and Sarah Banier. I apologize. I'm butchering these names very poorly, I'm sure. But any of these teams that we're familiar with by chance?
I know Megan Miss Swain. She's out of Florida. I'm not sure about her partner, so it'll be exciting to kind of watch a lot of these athletes who are maybe not as familiar come out and give their best performance, because I haven't seen a lot of these names over the course of the weekend either. So maybe a lot of these women are fresh and they're coming out to show their best performance.
Absolutely.
Especially, I feel like when you come for a team event, like you said, you're running for your teammate. You come specifically for this event. Like, I imagine you're training specifically for it, and then you're going to get the best results out of that. So I think it'll be a really close race to watch.
I think so, too. We don't have the times of their qualification times right next to us, but I think it's safe to say from just what we have seen so far, it's going to be a head-to-head battle all the way down to the burpees. I mean, it wouldn't be unless there was just one pure domination of a team, right?
Yes.
So Mag and Marine, Team M&M, they got second place yesterday as well, too, in the Deka Mile. So that is a team to look out for, even though they got the number 4 seed to possibly win today and get another podium or possible championship. So these women are going to move. And Becca King, I believe, competed in the Elite Heat with you earlier today. Dave mentioned her.
In the strong,
I think she was right next to you. Or close to you, at
Rachel
least.
was beside me, so maybe
that's right.
I think she was a 6th seed.
Yeah,
so she was really
right there as well. So
you're talking a low 13 individual.
Correct.
Which is very fast.
Yep.
I'm not sure what she went today, but like I said, the field was a lot of people I think surpassed their qualification times today.
Gotcha.
Which on today's course is incredibly impressive.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. I think it's more so just feeding off the excitement that's in here right now and knowing you're on the world championship stage. It ignites a fire that you didn't realize is inside you, right?
Yes.
So the women's heat's going to be fun to watch for sure. So this is the backside. This is heat 2 of the men's division. Like you said, you mentioned John Stanley, big guy right there in the front of the camera.
He can rip these machines.
It looks that way. And he looks like he's a very tall individual as
He
well.
He is quite tall. I know he's been training like specifically for Deka, so and he's that short burst athlete, just like some of the other big guys you see. Like so for the endurance, he might not keep up as well, but in these team events, it let these power athletes shine.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of that, the gentleman on the far right there in the white, it looks like blue, maybe green shirt, in lane 1. These two gentlemen, they're a little bit on the, I guess you could say, the grayer side of things, of age. And these two, I saw their qualification time actually in a Dick's Sporting Goods back down in Houston earlier this year. We laid out a Deka Strong there on one of my road shows, and they qualified and in Dick's Sporting Goods. So this is a different venue and a different layout for them because we had to go around clothing items. So
okay, so maybe they break into the top 10.
It's very possible, absolutely, because these two are very big powerhouse. That guy's flying.
Because they're already moving in. And I can imagine those big guys can really push that bike.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I wonder if this back half, if they keep same strategy or if it's more trade-offs. The only trade-off I have seen with the bike out of this whole weekend has been David Megita and Eric Williams. Those are the only two to do that. And guess what?
There are women who did it.
There are women who did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So apparently it works.
Yeah, I think it does work. Absolutely. Yeah, you're right.
Unless you have a Kevin.
Yeah, unless you have a Kevin.
Then you have that in your back pocket. Like, we don't need to switch bikes.
Exactly. Like, there's no reason to,
I would be scared to jump on a bike after Kevin. The pedals are moving too fast.
You talk about a good shin hit from a pedal.
Yes.
That will do it. Look, this guy's moving, all right.
It, yeah.
Okay, so 9:09 is the time. Very much still in this. Anything's possible. Smart, getting right in front of the fan, cooling off.
Well, they have these shields on these in the front.
Oh,
so you don't get the
burst as much. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Coming up to the athlete, that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, if you want to stand in front of it.
Okay, so let's see how efficient. A little slower on the over the shoulders compared to the top guys.
But he's getting in his rhythm now.
He's getting in a rhythm, yeah.
Like sometimes I feel like that first one is kind of rusty, and then you get into your rhythm.
The first one is always the heaviest of what it feels like. When it's 60 or 40 pounds, what it really feels like, because this is complete dead weight that they're picking up. Medicine ball, it's not a medicine ball, it's a dead ball. Medicine balls bounce, right? Dead ball does not.
Okay, and we see some switching off. I feel like for these guys, it's like a gumdrop, like this or whatever.
Right.
Because all these guys are pretty big.
It's one of those stations that 60 pounds is a fair weight, but it's not anything that's super competitive compared to most athletes out here.
Well, if you have like some of the smaller athletes, like 60 pounds for someone who's 160 pound guy.
Yeah.
60 pounds is
it's a good
third of your body weight.
It's a good percentage, right?
So for these guys, 60 pounds is like a fifth of their
body
weight.
Right,
well,
it's nothing.
Okay, they're not quite.
Yeah, but we all know what you meant.
My math skills are maybe not so good, but
we all know what you mean, though.
Yes. But I was talking to somebody with Deka is a good bridge between like runners and strength athletes.
Yes, yeah.
With the fit. Because you have like these smaller girls who can really run, but with the machines, they don't have the weight to pull the rower, to do the ski, to be on the bike. That it really evens that playing field.
Absolutely.
I think there can be some of these guys dip in the top 10.
Yeah, I think so too. And 10th place, we have the Webbs with a time of 10:58. Okay, 10:58. So, yeah, absolutely. Very doable. I don't know if they're on the 4th push and pull right now. All right, so this might be their 5th. So 909 looks to be safe. I think the podium has already been
safe.
Yeah, the podium is definitely safe. So now we can officially say it's official for the top 3.
But it is
unless
so
penalties. Cool. So we can bring up some controversy right now as well too. I don't know if it'd be smart. We should probably let things air out a little bit on their own. However, when you're trading off on stuff like that too, you accidentally hit the notch a little bit lower than setting 6 for the females. What if the men accidentally knock it down to 4 and again at the end the judge really isn't saying anything? Do you continue knowing it's still 4? I mean, is it more so the athlete's fault or maybe the judge's fault?
In that instance, I think it comes down to integrity of the athlete. Like, I've talked a lot about form with people from IROX to Deka. Sometimes when you're in it, you don't realize you're not completely overhead. You don't realize you're not completely overhead or hitting correct depth.
Right.
But as a team, if you notice that it's on the wrong setting, like, I think there's a level of, like, responsibility to the athlete, but also for the judge.
Yeah.
Especially when you're running these elite heats that have money. Like, we're like competing for money.
Right.
The judges need to be on top of their game.
Right.
So I think it's dual responsibility, but ultimately, I know there was controversy today with burpees, but if my judge says that I'm good,
you're going to roll with
it. Good. I'm
Absolutely.
With it. So
right.
It's on the responsibility of the judge to know rep, to call form. It's hard when you're in it, in the race.
Absolutely.
Because they might not even notice.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to feel if it's on the 4.
Right.
Come
on. Yep.
Right.
I agree with you. But that is true. So I don't think it's entirely up to the judge to a sense, right? The athlete should just know before coming in.
Oh, we had a switch up.
All right. So second wave, be officially done. That was a close battle for all the teams. They all just cluttered in there. All right.
I think we had a switch up. Last 2 teams were.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay. All right. So here's the official results now for the co-ed strong teams. We have Amber Tate and Kevin Gregory still rounding out first. Michaela Short and Ryan Corney in the second. Allison Outlaw and Caleb Yates in third. Followed closely behind Marissa Pope and Keaton Billings, Karen Guitry, Adrian King, Kara Mobley, Chris Balvin, and then, of course, the other teams as well, too. So congratulations to those competitors today. They did a great job. Just never know with him. You just never know. And then here's our men's official top 10. Alexander, I believe is the correct name, Golick, and Kevin Gregory with 9:02. You just saw Kevin's name up on the board, so you would think that we're showing you a different day's race, but this is, in fact, the same day in a matter of 30-minute window. It's just remarkable. And then Ryan Geiger and Adam Halls, the world record holders, still getting second place. That's a podium finish is great still, definitely with this type of competition. And then Connor Bell and Jamie Goodman in third place, number 1 in the Canadians' heart, of course. So,
good. And it's wild. You see these times too. To think of these as 1 burpee apart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, these times are separated by 1 burpee.
Yep. This is crazy. Now I will say that out of all the races that Kevin has done, this is the one he probably had to earn the most, just because of how close it was. The other ones, it was a very clear 8. Maybe 6 to 10 burpee range, and that's pretty comfortable when it comes to stuff like that. Sure, you're going all out. It's comfortable, though. You can maybe let it slide a couple of seconds here or there, but 7 seconds, like you said, that's
4 seconds.
Or 4 seconds, excuse me. Yeah, 4 seconds.
I was
that's
worried. I was like, are they going to get past? Because the rate at which Adam was doing those burpees,
crazy fast.
The pressure had to be on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, it's so different. Like, someone asked me about, like, when I was burping in the mile versus the fit. What's Morgan finished? I'm not as motivated anymore.
Right.
Like, I know, but those last burpees hurt.
Yeah.
So I know that Kevin and Alex were giving every ounce
Everything
they
they
had
had.
for that race.
For sure.
And it was nice to see Kevin sweat a little.
I think so too. We didn't see him necessarily lay on the floor like he did after the Deka Fit thing, but
Yes.
him sitting on the floor is close enough and stuff. I can only imagine the rest and recovery this man is going to have.
Yeah.
I think it's well deserved. A victory cigar should go for him for sure.
Well, you got to think in these events, he doesn't have time to lay on the floor.
No, yeah, that's true.
He has
that's
no
very
time
true,
to lay
actually.
down.
Yeah, it's not a minute 30, 500-meter split that he gets. That's
Yes.
true. Good point.
He has like 20 to 30 seconds rest, and it's like boom. So for him to put out those efforts at that amount,
it's crazy.
throughout the day is just incredible.
I would say he's definitely going to be sore. I think he's going to definitely be sore. All right, so women's heat will begin here shortly. I'm surprised, honestly, Carly Wopat didn't want to do teams. Is that
I don't
something?
think she ran a teams with anybody,
right,
but
okay.
she would be really strong athlete.
Absolutely.
Obviously, you could put her with anybody, co-ed, women.
Yeah.
Like, I'd actually talked with Lauren Griffith about us putting together a Deka Fit team.
Oh, that'd be good.
We both can run. Like, we're both, like, it is hard to run a Deka Fit and be the runner. Like,
yeah, sure.
She runs with Kevin, and it is it is a very
it's very hard
race. So if you can divide it, I think that we can.
Yeah,
we can put some time on.
I think that'd
record.
be a great team. Wow, that would be fun to watch. Yeah, I think you would get Bethany McChesney and Heather White was her teammate, right?
Yes.
A good run for their money if you did
partially because of how we could split it.
Yeah. Oh, you guys would complement each other very well.
Like running 250 and running 500
is night
so
and day
different.
Yes, it is.
So even though Heather might be a lot stronger on the stations, like for Bethany to be able to hold the pace that me and Lauren can split,
correct.
Would be very hard.
And that's going to be the big separation right there for sure. And in fact, Lauren would probably appreciate that more, that she gets an actual rest opposed to
running with bubbles and getting like 30 seconds to rest. Yeah.
It won't be too much because, of course, you can fly yourself, but maybe it'll be just slightly
But at least
longer.
you have that almost one-to-one work. So, like, if we're running 45s for 250, you get 45 on, 45 rest. The stations are almost about that time.
Right.
So you're never having to, like, go these long 150 efforts.
Right.
With minimal rest. Because Bethany's running probably 155 to 2 minutes, getting 20 seconds rest on stations like
and then still trying to run that same exact split time. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. We talked about that shortly on Friday. That type of rest is it's not the type of rest time that you do. So right here, we got the women lining up. This is team number 1, Bethany Fellows and Brandy Dittrett. I'm gonna have to learn. She's a local Texas girl herself, so I need to.
And she was the world champion yesterday.
Correct, in the Deka Mile with
You better
Holly.
learn her name.
Yeah, I know for sure. Brandy is a very strong athlete, and it looks like her teammate Bethany is just as strong, if not as tall as her as well.
It looks like we got some real tall, strong athletes in this.
We do. So nobody in lane 2 right now, but lane 3 that looks to be Kassin and Valeria. And I know in Team 4 right now, shown on the screen, is Mag and Marine in the red tanks right there next to them. So no Becca King and Jocelyn, but you think they would squeeze them together.
Maybe they'll move them down.
Yeah, it looks to be that way. So next to Mag and them could be Miranda O'Neill and Sarah as well in the American shorts. And then I do know the team in the pink is Ashley Lacombe and Christy Dutton, another gym in Texas, I think the Tyler area. And I hosted a Deka Strong out there as well, and they qualified for this on one of my road shows. So I got a lot of teams that I judged and shown up have qualified. So best of luck to them. I hope they perform very well. Christy has been dominating her age group all weekend. So. Oh, there we go. Okay, so they did, in fact, move them down. So no Becca King which definitely opens the door for other teams to step in. But I'm going to go ahead and just say Bethany and Brandy are going to take this one home. I've seen Brandy on the stations. I saw what she did yesterday. She is going to dominate, and I mean, by the size of Bethany as
They
well,
are
too.
just towering. They are like some D1 basketball players.
I don't think this is a certain angle either. I think they are just that much of a taller athlete. This is going to be fun.
I wouldn't want to go against them on the ski erg.
No. So, Ashley, the thing about the ladies in the pink shirt, Christy, of course, CG Games athlete, a great background in fitness as well. But Ashley, her teammate in the darker hair and the dark pants, former CrossFit Game competitor.
Wow.
Yes. So, former, of course, obviously retired from that aspect, but owns the CrossFit Gym stuff now. But she is still legit of an athlete.
It'd be interesting to see more CrossFit athletes in these team styles.
Yeah.
Because they are such short burst athletes and strong. So I know there were a few CrossFit girls in the strong last year. I'm not sure of everybody's background this year. But 12 to 13 minutes can be an endurance event
to a
for
CrossFit
athlete.
Absolutely. That is definitely longer. You tell them anything past that, it is an endurance.
Yes.
You know, that's a great question. How do you think someone such as, let's say, Toomey and Matt Frazier, how do you think they would fare in a Deka Strong setting? Do you think they would go, like, do you think that you could beat them in this, knowing you're very specialized in this as well?
I mean, maybe the top of the sport, not as strong, but I'd take anybody in a fit from the CrossFit. Like, just because my background is running,
sure,
and it is over a 30-minute event. But I
now
mean,
the fit for sure, I would take you 10 out of 10 times. I wouldn't even give Tia to me even one of those. But as for a strong setting, do you think their background is just strong enough that could carry them?
Well, I know Taylor Williamson competed last year, and I guess she was a CrossFit athlete. Okay. But she got gassed. Like, she had maybe similar to like a Carly race today that she took out.
Yeah.
And specificity, like, if they don't train specifically for this, there's like nuanced things.
True.
Like the ball over the shoulders, sit-ups, the box overs that could get clunky if they're not practicing. So maybe if they weren't training to do it and didn't attempt the exercises before, maybe it would be pretty close.
Yeah.
But they would do really well in these events.
I think they would do well, but I don't think they would beat on someone on the top level, someone such as yourself and stuff. Even on the strong, yeah. I would,
it'd be interesting
because
to see.
It would be the details. It really would. Now they would be great on the machines, of course, and I think they can match Bubbles on the bike and stuff too. But they have never done 15 seconds on the bike and done 20 over the shoulders. At least maybe they have, but I just don't think that's something that they have done in future game events and stuff. And then not to mention after that, now a tank, and then.
Well, I mean, you see even these athletes that practice and specialize fumble over the box. The box flips on them, like they fall. Like these things, like if you don't practice a lot, like you can get easily tripped up on that.
100%.
So
look at Kay. I'm just going to roll with the name Kay here for a second, so I'm not butchering it anymore. But she is flying on these box overs right now. And
she is moving.
You got Brandy right there. Okay, all right, here we go. Lead change. Shortly followed by a Team M&M as well, too.
Oh, M&M's the team last year that took the sneak yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
In the mile.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
They were like completely off screen basically,
and then they snuck in for second place.
Yeah, till the medicine balls, and they just crushed it. And,
they trained together. And from my understanding, they told me yesterday too, they train at the same gym that Brandy trains at. That I'm going to maybe assume Bethany also trains at. So these ladies are very familiar with each other. In other words. Okay, another lead. Wow, Bethany flew on those.
And see, this is where that height is going to make a big difference.
I think so too. Yeah.
But it is cool to see, like, talking about the CrossFit background. I don't know how familiar you are with triathlon, but there was an Ironman athlete who's, like, number 5 in the world. His name's Joe Skipper, who did a High Rocks 2 weeks ago. And he got wrecked.
Did he?
But he is one of the top Ironman athletes in the world. So for these different types of athletes to come in and try this sport, not only does it add like legitimacy to what we do, but I think it creates like awareness.
Right.
So he's got followers from like being that level of an Ironman athlete.
Great exposure for our
Great
sport, right?
exposure.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's funny when you see those top tier athletes from other sports come and just venture in and stuff. They will do well, but they will get wrecked in the
They will get
process.
wrecked.
It's just you have to if you want to be a top athlete in any sport that you do, you have to specialize in it, or else you're not going to be a quote unquote the 1%, right?
Yes.
All right, these ladies look like they're
Are ripping
flying.
it.
This will be interesting to see. I think Bethany and Brandy are, but Valeria looks like also a very strong athlete. If there's any ladies that's matching height for height right now, it's definitely lane 1 and lane 2.
Yes. It'll be interesting to see if any of these teams switch up on the bike, because I feel like on the women's side, it's way more of a strategy.
Right.
Because these women are probably going to sit on the bike at least a minute.
Right. Yeah.
Like doing a sub-minute 25 calories in a race for a woman is going to be incredibly hard.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree. I think I don't know, in such a short race, so the Deka mile is one thing because you still got to require a 160-meter run that you might have to do because your partner may be tired or something, right? But in a strong, is it worth taking those 2 seconds, though, to save yourself for over the shoulders in the tank and the burpees?
To do the switch.
To do the switch, yeah.
Yes, I think it's 100% worth it to do the switch.
Yep.
Like in co-eds, like, I don't think it's worth the switch because the man's probably going to be heavier, and then the woman can do the ball overs. But with the women's teams, you just don't have the size to crank those watts for that long duration of time.
Oh, wow, look at Beth. Oh, she forgot to hit the start button, though. Uh-oh. That's a big factor.
Oh, I think
all right.
Lane 2, too.
So don't count out the American short team as well, too. I believe Miranda O'Neill and Sarah.
Yes.
They're getting it right now. Oh, Team M&M kind of falling a little bit behind there, just a bit, but again, they played that slow one. They were out of the picture for a minute, and then they showed up yesterday. This could be the same thing. So look at here. They're not trading off. Lane 1 isn't. Brandy is holding off to the side, letting Bethany take all of it. And it looks to be the same for lane 2 as well.
But if you think about it, these women are probably going to then push like 115 to 120. If you switch, maybe you could get your bike under a minute.
That's true, because look at Christy and Ashley there on the far left, the pink shirts. They traded off. And Team M&M is also doing the same in the red shorts or red shirts. Okay, so Bethany's still able to hold on to the lead.
And 25 calories hard is rough.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. She crushed it. That was very impressive.
I wish on these races they had like timing mats between. Because I'd love to see some of the splits, especially on these relays. How fast.
Absolutely.
Like I think on the fit, Kevin's in and out with the switch was like 18 seconds.
Right.
Which is amazing to see because that means he hit that bike in like 15 seconds.
Yep. Yeah, that would be fun to watch for sure. All right, so this is still a very close race. Let's see if they do the row and go technique as well. It looks like that's going to be the case since Brandy's walking right next to her. Well, if you're going to do that, I would think just go ahead and hold on to the straps, right? I mean,
well, I would think that they maybe do that after this.
No, they're just setting it on top. Well, Bethany and Brandy are just moving this like it's nothing.
This is one of those things, though. You would hope that you would watch the sport more and learn from the people before you.
Right.
You see a lot of people doing the row and go, but look at who's doing it most efficient.
Right.
Watch these top athletes who are doing good ball over shoulders, who are really crushing the row, how they're doing it,
right?
Like what their technique is. and emulating that in the warm-up area.
Yeah.
Because these are things that you can fix on the fly. If you've never touched some of these new sleds before, you can make adaptations to your strategy on the fly.
Right.
Better to do it before you start than in the race when
Yes.
you're tired.
Absolutely. Wow, this is going to be close. This is going to be good. I think it's safe to say Brandy and Bethany, unless they blow up on the burpees for whatever reason, I just don't seem to be the case. They got a full length ahead right now, which probably means about three burpees if they get going. Yeah, they got a pretty good lead. Oh, and Kay is just walking. Oh, yeah, that costs. So they're about 5 burpees ahead. Unless these ladies can fly.
5 burpees is almost the bridge too far.
What's that?
It's a bridge too. It's too far.
I think so too. Yeah,
5
I think
burpees is a very like. I mean, you got to think that's at least 10 seconds.
Yeah, for sure.
10 to 15
and that's hard
seconds.
to make up. Definitely in a team setting, because obviously the intensity just stays high at all times. You don't necessarily do all 20.
Exactly. You're not going to see some of these splits like with individuals. If you look at their burpee splits, some are going 58 and then some are going like 120.
Right,
like they're
right.
switching up these that they should be within 10 seconds of.
Yes. And there we are.
There they are.
Our 2023 female Deka Strong champions. Bethany and Brandy, congratulations. Holding it down for Texas.
Close.
Congratulations.
4 seconds.
That was a close battle. That was a lot closer than I expected, honestly. And third place.
They hold the world record.
They broke a world record. Oh, wow.
No, they hold the world record.
Oh, they hold the world record.
They didn't break it today.
Okay. Bethany and Brandy, now world champions, but also currently holding the world record. So, again, another team that probably rightfully deserves a world championship, of course, to solidify their names even more. Third place, not mentioned when they crossed the line, though, Miranda O'Neill and Sarah Banier. Congratulations for third place. Unofficial, of course. I believe their second wave. So, not sure how many ladies we have here, but I imagine there's probably a second wave as well. So we're definitely going to have to check out what third place's time will be. Letting these ladies finish up. Again, no podium for these teams right here. However, hopefully personal records, personal best. If you don't obviously achieve the W or a podium, the two things, of course, that you would want to grab more than anything at competitions like this, you at least want a personal best, right?
Yes.
And if you know that you left it all out there on the course, then that's a good feeling in itself.
Oh, yeah.
Well, shout out to our Rabbits for all the coverage that they're providing here for OCR Report, and everybody such as myself and Tara that have the view at home as well, too. And shout out also to Titan 6 Actual for partnering with OCR Report to give it for Rabbits and their sleeve design, cool neon shirts that they have as well too. At Titan 6 Actual, their mission is to inspire and empower people to take command of their lives by adopting the Titan ethos so they can become the best version of themselves and help others do the same. Through powerful and inspirational designs and under the Titan Shield logo, their apparel seeks to bring out your inner Titan spirit. Don't just live, take command. Thank you again, Titan 6 Actual.
Okay, so the second heat's already going. They're already on the bike.
Oh, they're all, wow. Good Lord. Man, they are moving. It only looks to be it's only one side, so it's probably about 4 or 5 teams. So we don't have official clock going. We have no idea where they may be. But let's just say they're close just for excitement purposes.
Yes,
so.
yes.
Well,
I mean, there's like a 20-second gap between first and third. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if like the bikes look like they're moving fast enough to. I mean,
Sure.
that's such a big station that
It
you can
is.
gain like a lot.
You can, absolutely. It definitely makes or breaks your time every time.
Exactly.
Yep. So, Tara, what do we expect from you next as far as races are concerned? What is on the radar?
So I have High Rocks LA in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And that will be my last race of the season. It was supposed to be here, but my time is not quite good enough right now to get me in the Elite 15 races. So, and especially after Stockholm this weekend, where they apparently used the metric system very, very poorly.
As far as weights are concerned?
No, as far as distance is concerned.
Oh.
So the times were outrageously fast. The runs were 2 to 4 minutes faster than Chicago. The run itself.
Well, that should be something to raise up question marks then. So,
Yeah.
because of course, a couple world records were broken, of course. So,
yes.
Yeah. Wow.
So I just don't see, if you compare Chicago and Stockholm, people are running consistently 3, 4, 5 minutes faster than they did 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. That can
it's
raise some question marks for sure.
And it's a frustrating, like, and they had non-arena style farmer's carry.
Okay.
So for athletes, that's like 40 seconds, 30 to 40 seconds faster than the down and back. Just like you think about Deka Fit, how they don't have the down and backs, how much faster those times go. So these little things, when like time is going to be contributing to, like, if you get into these big races, it's so hard. So I'm going to race LA, and if I don't get into Vienna by time, I think I might just call it and be a Deka athlete.
Yeah?
I thought about it at the beginning of, after World Championships for High Rocks, I was super jazzed. I had my best race I've ever had. Finally, it all came together. I ran an extra lap.
Yeah, okay, so you even had your best time with an extra lap.
Yeah, so it all was great. Then I ran in New York, where crowding was such an issue that I couldn't run.
Yeah.
And being a runner, like running through a mosh pit, just obliterated my time.
Well, given that the new time now format, the elite women go during all the doubles as well too. That's very chaotic.
It was so chaotic. Like me, Lauren, Chris, and Alondra all ran about 4 or 5 minutes slower than we ran 2 weeks prior in Manchester.
Right.
So it feels like, as an athlete who is not in the top of High Rocks, that are going to automatically qualify because they're so fast, being like probably that bottom half of the top 15. I just don't know that I have the money or the want to just keep filtering it into a sport that I feel like is trying to push me out.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So I love Deka. I'm probably arguably better at Deka than I am High Rocks. I like to train for it better. So maybe that's what I do next year.
Well, whatever sport you do, obviously you're always going to be a threat to the podium no matter what sport you do. And obviously, you're home here at Deka for that. Obviously being the first ever world champion as well too. So I think Deka will be happy to continue having you, of course, too. So and maybe figure it out with High Rocks later. Who knows?
We'll see. I mean, we have DC that's really close to me.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's hard for me to look like, oh, I have a hybrid race that's like 5-hour drive.
Sure.
But High Rocks is tough.
Like,
it's
different.
So hard on your body, and it's hard to train for and keep up with. I'm not a volume kind of athlete. Like, the amount of volume some of these athletes are able to put in and stay healthy, it ain't me.
Yeah.
So it's very impressive for them, but Deka, I can sustain about 8 to 10 hours of tough training a week and be fine, but it's just not enough for High Rocks.
I do think track athletes with that type of background do have a better transition into Deka more so than High Rocks. So with that background, because of your foot speed and your fast twitch muscle fibers that you can do and how quick you can take off, benefits so much more, I believe, in Deka than it does in High Rocks. So.
And Deka's so aerobic. Like, none of the stations are so muscularly taxing that you're sitting there for, like, the lunges could take 3-4 minutes and just wrecking your quads. And trying to run after that, it makes it so much more about strength than it does about, like, cardiovascular.
Right. Yeah. All right, well, we got the wave 2 of the ladies finishing up.
Oh, no, we lost the ram.
Roll around. Your brain is so fried at this point. sometimes you don't even know what station you're going to run into, even though you've probably done it 100 times,
Yes.
right?
Did you catch my fall in the beginning of the Deka Strong?
No, I didn't see that. Right from the lunges, or
From the lunges.
Uh-huh.
I hit the ground because the girl beside me dropped her ram and it like kind of bounced over towards me.
Okay, I did see that.
And
Yeah,
I hit the floor. Like I was like, this is not starting well.
Congratulations to these ladies. We'll say, just from an unofficial standpoint, since we don't really know their time, that we'll probably say the top 3 in the first wave are pretty safe as well. Oh, now she is having a great time right now. That's awesome. I love to see it. Even when you're in the worst pain possible, that you can still break out some dance moves. T-Swift does that to everybody.
T-Swift.
Well, she dropped her baton. I hope she knows. Okay, there we go.
I was actually surprised yesterday with that mile course in the relay. Nobody got taken out.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple times I told Jack, I was like, we might get bulldozed here because the speed that some of these athletes were running, good God.
And taking that corner was wild.
It was amazing to watch. And we could feel the breeze coming off of the runs every single time. So I had to keep on my jacket or everything I had on at the time because it might have just flashed everybody. So
that's great.
All right, so here is our official female time. So we have Brandy and Bethany there with a 10:43. They didn't break their current world record, but they still hold the world record. Followed by Kay and Mendez as well with 10:47. So only 4 seconds. So they came in with quite the lead and stuff. Yeah. They flew on the burpees then.
They did.
So I guess if you would have put in the standpoint 25 to 30 burpees, I don't know. We could have seen different world records.
The one team, though, got a little, like, I don't want to call them lazy, but, when you come in with, like, a 5-6 burpee lead, the pressure almost feels a little bit off.
Yeah, it does.
So I wonder if they would have came in with only 1 or 2, if that would have pushed them a little bit more.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, and then Christy Dutton and Ashley Lacombe finishing out top 5. And in 4th place, you got Mag and Marine, Team M&M. Not the podium finish I'm sure they were hoping for, but still a great weekend for them. Very accomplishing. Way to hold it down for Texas right here. Well, I don't know if we possibly want to do an interview with Mr. Bubbles again. I don't know if we have anybody.
What about Alex?
Well, there's Alex. We got Alex. Let's see if we can get Bubbles. We're going to try to get Bubbles in here. The man that I've been interviewing all weekend. Oh, oh, yeah. Thank you, Tara. Yeah, find her as well, too. Amber Tate. They should be together. Well, guys, what an exciting weekend this has been. This has been awesome. Yep. Oh, you meant here. Okay, yeah. Okay. All right, so we have. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we got Kevin, Amber, and Alex making their way over here. I'm going to talk to the whole squad. Right now we got Alex and Kevin. Let's see if I can make room for these big dogs. Man of the weekend, get your butt in here.
Okay. We got all the teams. I don't have the female teams.
Yeah, we'll have to trade off on the headphones. We might have to censor up for the children at home. All right, I am now sitting with, first of all, Dr. Deka over here, or 5-time world champion all in one weekend, Kevin, the Bubbles Gregory, and then, of course, with his amazing teammates that obviously carried Kevin into these world championships, of course. Obviously. Amber Tate and Alexander Golick. Congratulations, guys, on being the world champions. First ever team world championships. Talk to me. what went through your mind? Did we keep to the strategy? You guys also hold the world record as well too. Was that something you wanted a piece of, or was it just win?
Well, I needed to not let down Amber because I let Zach down yesterday. So I wanted to make sure we won first and foremost. Time didn't matter. And then I had to save enough so that way I could do it again with AJ. I think the men's field was super deep. So as yesterday I wanted to make sure I had enough of me to cover my portion because I knew they were going to give 100%. I needed to give at least 85%.
85?
I've been floating since this afternoon.
Listen,
actually.
your 85 is better than most people's 100, though, okay? So don't discredit yourself on that. Amber, walk me through it with your world championship. So you are by far probably the fastest box over human I've ever seen, and that is male and female.
Okay.
Start in trouble, Luke.
You know what's funny, though? I don't think that's my fastest zone.
Wow,
Instagram
okay.
might tell you that.
Sure.
But I'm pretty quick at sit-ups and burpees, and I feel like those just kind of get
Well, the burpees
underrated.
also, too. That's amazing watching you fly on those. Now, was the strategy 10 and 10 there at the burpees, or was it more so you take more of the workload?
I did 12, kept
Okay.
it 8. Generally, we just go until I'm decelerating, and then he takes over. We did a little bit of a different strategy this time around than we did when we broke the record. So I was going to push for 15, but because he made me push the tank a little more this time around, I gave him 12.
12 is good. I think it's a good trade-off.
I needed to save those two for AJ.
Absolutely. There you go. Now, speaking of as far as being the team together, is this a team that we see in the future, more races to come, or was this a, hey, we got it, we can retire happy type thing, move on to a different teammate such as your husband, Zach, or is this?
Luke, I've heard that you've told everybody I only raced with people once. Well, this happened to be twice, but I might have to retire these guys and find someone new. I love racing with these guys. All my partners this weekend, I had great races with, even though Zach and I didn't place that high. The more you can trust your partner to do what they need and communicate when they can't fulfill what we planned, the smoother the race goes. You don't have to have anxiety. Amber was slowing down on whatever, and I'm like, okay, we're good. I'll take these. Same with AJ. He's like, I'll do all the burpees if I need to.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're doing great, but I got my last burst for the whole weekend here. You've done everything I need you to do. I'll finish it here, and then we won. So
that's awesome.
Trust.
Asking that too. How many teammates did you have total this weekend?
All five.
All five. That is
such 4 wins out of 5 partners.
So either way, because Zach Tate, who of course not pictured in here, your husband, obviously an amazing teammate on your end as well too. The fact that you can communicate well with different teammates each and every time is amazing. Now, is that just because you have trained with them prior, or you just you trust them as a teammate?
Amber and Zach are in a whole other country.
But that's true. Yeah,
AJ's on an island.
I think it just comes down to, like, you know your job, you execute, you just assume your partner's going to do the same thing.
Absolutely.
And you sell out for them.
Absolutely. Well, Amber, how does it feel to be a world champion?
I worked all year for this.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome.
Team Strong's is where it's at for me. So.
I love it. That's awesome. At least one can take that home with them this weekend, right? So congratulations. Well done. Let me go ahead and get AJ in here as well, too.
Thanks, guys.
But I would say stick around for sure if you like.
I'm going to pee.
Okay, even better. You might want to do that. All right, Mr. Golan, congratulations.
Thank you.
How's it feel to be a world champion?
Feels good. It
Yeah?
always feels good.
Good.
Yeah, definitely.
I think his first paycheck.
What's up?
Is this
His
your
first base.
winning
Yeah,
paycheck?
this will be my first win.
There you
He's a
go.
pro
What are we buying?
What's up?
What are we buying?
Nothing.
Putting it all on
Yeah,
red?
putting
Going
in
to
savings,
Vegas?
paying for travel.
There you go. Yeah, that's fair enough. Man,
Yeah.
where are we coming from?
Long Island, New York.
Okay, so yeah,
My Long Island brother and
Yep.
we both played lacrosse, but I don't live there anymore.
there you go.
And his mom, superstar. She didn't do any races this weekend, but she supported all of our team. She was volunteering, judging. She's an amazing part of the underdog squad. Mama Golich.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
She's the team mom.
That's great.
She's the
I
number
love
one
it.
fan.
Every team needs one. So,
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
how, strategy, knowing that you were doing back-to-back races, you only had about 15, 20 minutes of recovery.
Way
if
more
that.
than yesterday.
Yeah, a little more. However, did strategy still play true to what you guys talked about prior, or did it change a little bit given that maybe you were just slightly more fatigued?
It didn't change much. We had a game plan going in, which was a little bit different from our qualifying run, which was a similar strategy that Kevin's been doing all weekend with the teams. One teammate is a pusher and the other teammate is a puller on the sled. So we adopted that same strategy, which was different from how we qualified. And then the burpees was the same thing that Amber was explaining. Is like I started giving everything that I have until my intensity starts to drop, and then Kevin take over. Our initial thought process was between 12 and 15 for me. We wound up going 10-10 or 9-11.
Something like that, right near the
Yeah.
middle.
Were you
Almost
two
half.
aware of Adam Hall's flying on those burpees?
I knew he was going to fly in the burpees.
Okay.
And
I
I
did
was like,
too.
let me watch as AJ's going. I'll know what number he's on, and I want to know how much of a lead we have. Because just like my elite race earlier, I know I can't compete with the speed of those guys, but I knew he can't do that for 20. I mean, I can go ham for 10. I'm not as short, but
Right.
I got a rest while AJ was going, so that was what I had to count on. I don't know what the split was, it wasn't just them. Like Connor and Jamie
They were right there too.
Yeah, they were flying,
I
too.
knew they were.
I think it
gonna
was
be
a
right there.
7-second
Connor's
spread with
crazy.
all three teams.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yes. So it was definitely a battle all the way to
All
it.
the way.
So
Yeah.
do you feel like this was both of them were rightfully earned by any means, but do you think this one was just slightly harder given that it was the second race of back-to-back?
He's a superhuman.
Yeah, I think so.
He's a superhuman.
I would have.
I think everyone has seen
Yeah.
that this weekend. So
Yeah, I mean I wish, in retrospect, I wish I would have. I wanted to see what I could have done fresh in the men's relay yesterday. So I was like, I can't let him down the way I did yesterday. But the strategy worked out great. AJ moved super well, and I did what I needed to do. We limited my needs, and then I just had to crush at the end. So this I was more worried about these teams that came in with much better qualifying times than us, where Amber and I had the best time and no one's touched us.
right.
So they had a 40-second better qualifying time than us.
Right.
Adam and Ryan.
Right,
So
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AJ and I, this is head to head. There's no wondering how do
Sure.
they do it.
Yeah.
I know they're amazing athletes, but we're amazing athletes.
Absolutely.
Where did
Yeah.
their splits beat our splits? I don't
Right.
know, because
Right.
they don't have their video. They don't have our video.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could have been the ideal layout, right? So you just never know. Weather can always be, and who knows,
It
right?
was warm when we
Exactly. Yeah.
raced. It was
This
raining,
race
right?
was
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
race was very much
Sun was
like
in your eyes, all the good
It
stuff.
was definitely raining.
whoever showed up and executed their strategy better was going to win.
Absolutely.
Just because the qualifying times, like Kevin said, like they varied throughout the year. Like we broke the record, and then it was broken again, and then it was broken by another team.
Right.
So you don't necessarily know exactly what the splits are, how the course is set up, how the gym's set up for the run. So especially on like the course today, where it's more of like a Deka long rather than a Deka strong, and you have longer transitions and a little bit more time, like race strategy is huge, and whoever executes a little bit better will come out on top. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Alex, I'll tell you one more time. How's it feel to be a world champion?
Feels great.
Are you gonna
Feels great
sleep well
to share
tonight?
with him.
I'm not. I didn't
Absolutely.
sleep all weekend. It's funny. Rylan last night we had some jarring at the podiums, and he's like, "It would be a shame if you didn't get a good night's sleep tonight." And I was like, "Don't worry, I'll be dreaming of you." And then I had a shitty night of sleep, but I was like, "It doesn't matter. I've done enough back-to-back Spartan races. You show up at the starting line, gimping up, and you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to compete today." And then poof, magic. So I knew I'll be able to perform regardless of how shitty I feel.
Yes, absolutely.
This is what I trained for all year. I knew it. He's been training his ass off. He overcame a knee injury. We didn't even know if he's in a race 3 days ago. And
Wow. Yeah, that's
adrenaline
great.
and heart and confidence in himself. And
Adrenaline. Emphasis on the adrenaline.
And then rightfully earned right here. So it paid off, right?
Absolutely.
So and your first money on that. So
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so Kevin, 5 out of 7 this weekend. I mean,
Thanks,
5 championships. We're not talking podiums. We're
and I beat
talking.
Caleb Yates. So that's like bonus.
And
Extra
you
credit.
beat Mr. Caleb Yates, who I will say that I was giving Caleb some love, of course. But me and him go way back on that. But Kevin, I think it's safe to say for future races to come, no one can bet against you anymore. This is your arena, and we're just happy to be a part of it. So, Kevin Gregory, congratulations. Alex, congratulations as well, too,
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Thank you guys for tuning
Appreciate
in.
it.
Man, what a great weekend, Kevin.
Thanks, Luke. Bye, Mom. I love you.
All right, I'm going to get Mr. Yancy Culp in here for a second. The creator of Deka.
They're not sweaty. I dried off.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we all know this gorgeous young man sitting next to me, Yancy Culp. Yancy, how do you feel this weekend went?
The greatest thing about this weekend, Deka Mile yesterday, Deka Strong today. The only way to qualify for them is you have to go to one of our affiliate gyms. We've got about 300 across the country now, in Canada and the UK and Ireland and various other countries. You can't get here for Strong a Mile unless you go to their affiliate event to qualify.
Right.
We love that. 99% of the reason we exist is the affiliate program. This is our 1%, but we still love celebrating what we call the Deka Cyborgs, brother.
Yeah, Deka Cyborgs always. So do you feel, as far as all the affiliates and what this has brought, does each year just get bigger and bigger?
So I noticed something today where I was like, okay, I think we've made it. Is there was like, if you notice, there was 7, 8, or 9 legit coaching programs, like Kilgore and Geiger and Kevin and Underdog and all these programs that 3 years ago they didn't exist, and they're training hundreds of people for Deka.
Right.
Ryan Kent's program. I loved seeing that. Like, we have a couple stories without going deep into it where, 3.5 years ago they were running Deka Strong and 35 minutes in the age group,
right.
and now where 1,000 people in their age group competed this year, and they're in the top 20 running. They're athlete that used to be.
Right.
Our ultimate goal was we wanted to provide a start line for all the people that never had their start line. And we figured the 10, 20%ers would love it as well. And this is their day, but it's fun seeing those few people that they didn't grow up playing sports, or they weren't testing their fitness, or maybe they weren't on a good fitness journey before Deka, and now they are, and they can say they were in the World Championships for a few of them.
Which is always a very prideful and exciting thing to express to everyone, and I hope they do so all over social media. This has been an amazing weekend, and I'm honored to be a part of this. Thank you to Jason Dupree doing this, and yourself, obviously, for making this thing amazing. I have deemed Deka Fit World Championships weekend as the WrestleMania of fitness. Do you like that?
I love that, and if you got a chance to watch Deka Mile teams last night, it was freaking NASCAR meets roller derby meets WWE. And somebody came up to me and was like, Yancy, I think we need to clean it up a little bit. It's a little too bump and grind. It's like, no.
This is great.
It's got to be bump and grind.
Absolutely. How bad does one want it, right?
That's exactly right.
Well, Yancy, after a very successful weekend, are we going to be getting any sleep, I hope, or are you just running on this high for one more week?
Dude, in about 2 hours, I'm gonna have a couple beers, brother.
I think you earned one, man. Yancy
Thank
Culp.
you for dressing up, man.
Hey,
he looked good.
Thank you. Well, I don't have my blazer on at the moment. I got a little hot there.
Made us look legit.
Anything to make it look good,
hey,
buddy.
Will Hicks in the OCR report, Jason and team. Thank you. All of you guys, thank you so much for making this visible to thousands of people, to our UK affiliates, our Irish affiliates, and all their countries, and our Canadian affiliates that couldn't be here. We had like 60, 70 affiliates here, but the fact that they were able to kind of feel like they could watch it from the couch, man. Good stuff. Thank you.
Yeah. Next year, we'll bring them out, right? So it's going to only get bigger from here, folks.
Much love, everybody.
Everybody, Mr. Yancy Culp.
Good. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you, buddy. No, I'll call it right here. I'll end it out. All right, guys. Well, this has been a very exciting weekend. Thank you for everybody who has tuned in and has even bothered to stay this long on to just hear my obviously very crackled voice from all the talking I've been doing. Again, much love. Show your love and support to your local live streams and your local races and everything around. Mr. Jason Dupree has been working night and day on all of this on the live coverage. So make sure you give some love. There he is right there. And all our rabbits, thank you guys for volunteering, all the volunteers, the spectators, everyone watching from home. You guys are exactly what makes this sport great. And, of course, congratulations to all the athletes, age group and elites, who have all competed. We have crowned world champions. Records were broken. This was a very exciting weekend. So, again, my name is Luke Halterman. Thank you for watching OCR Report, and I'll catch you on the next one.